We are here today to look at regional priorities for youth-led programs in Ohio. We started off last month working with the Ohio Youth-Led Prevention Network, and what that group was tasked with was identifying the top 3 issues they thought that young people in Ohio were facing.
To really have an impact throughout the state on these different issues that are affecting young people in Ohio, we need a lot of our network and groups within our network to be seeking to address a similar issue. This is the first region that's looking at the decisions that the Youth Council made as part of that network.
And this regional group is taking a look at data from Clark, Greene, Madison, and Montgomery counties and saying of those top 3 priorities, which are prescription drug misuse, marijuana use, and anxiety and depression, what is the most prominent issue here in our region that we want to focus on?
What we're trying to get is a snapshot of what's happening in our region. It's important we're using the state data as a comparison, but we want to look directly at our regional data. We're just pushing you further and further and further into the data so that we have the best knowledge possible to make a decision.
For Greene, as you can see, 30 days and lifetime, they're both the highest out of all these data that we came up with from the package that you gave us. For lifetime, as you can see, it jumped pretty high, 4.5% to 14%. That's a pretty big jump.
But 8% reported being bothered. Do you guys think that that's high or low? If 8% of the 7th grade class.
I think that's low.
Our next task is, as a group, to have to decide which one of these issues, mental health, misuse of prescription drugs, or marijuana use, is the top issue in this region.
Mental health.
While these are all, pressing issues, it is really important to include statistics and do things based upon statistics.
I'll start with why we rank prescription drugs as 3rd. Region-wide, as far as everyone, it went from 21.3% to 12.8%. So that's why we put prescription drugs as 3rd, because it just didn't have that big scope that the other 2 had. So I'll tell you why we place mental health above marijuana. It's more long-term. It affects your whole life. 20% of the population is affected locally.
What we just accomplished together today was that first step. We defined the problem. We identified what are our collective efforts going to focus on. And in this region, you all have decided on depression and anxiety. What happens next? What is the root cause? Why is this happening here in our school or in our local community? We can brainstorm why is it happening, but we need evidence to support our decisions about what we think are contributing to these problems in our community. Are there local data sources that we have?
Maybe do our own data and research in our school, like do a survey, ask our students what makes them feel depressed or anxious, or just so we know in our specific school, our region, and then go make a strategy from there.
The first step is understanding why is mental health an issue in our community. Why is it happening here? Why is it happening now? Once we use data to figure that out, then we can pick those strategies that work, that are grounded in evidence, that have been proven effective. Working together, you're going to be able to impact this entire region. And if this region is impacting mental health, what's going to happen to our state level numbers? They're going to go down as well, right? Because it's an effect. So what we do locally matters. Regionally, it matters. Statewide, it matters nationally. Your work matters.
I think it's really interesting that no matter where you go, of course there's going to be differences, but we all can find similarities.
And I think it's really cool how we can combine all of our ideas to help make a difference.